Hello, and welcome to the Loveology podcast, where we talk about love and life with laughter. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Jason.
He's the carefree one.
She's the serious one.
And we're married.
We have been since 2012, and we like to think of ourselves as a couple of loveologists.
Not because we are the experts, but because we just love love.
We enjoy studying and talking about it, so we thought, let's just start a podcast.
A place where we can share what we have learned about love, relationships, and marriage.
You can share what you've learned, and we can all grow together.
So here we are. Are you ready?
Let's get started. What's up, everybody out there in podcast land? Thank you for joining us again for yet another episode of the Loveology podcast. We have your co-host Jason and my lovely wife Ashley. What's up, love?
What up?
Man, we got another day, man. I'm ready to get into it. We're gonna talk about some good stuff, but before that, how was your week, love?
It was great.
It was cool.
Yes.
What was cool? What was cool about it?
Well, we made a decision to homeschool our daughter.
Yes.
And we just went ahead and made that decision. We're going to have to do another COVID update and see how everyone is doing, right?
Yeah, the decision.
Yes. So yeah, we're in LA and everything is virtual learning.
Yeah.
And I honestly did not feel like that was the best way. We would have to log on to school at a certain time for her to be live with her teachers. And if you homeschool, you can kind of set your own schedule and be a little bit more flexible.
Correct.
So if we need to, teach a class at 6:00 at night, we can do that.
For sure.
Right. Instead of, it's very difficult. And I'm sure lots of parents are out there dealing with this. Like a lot of states we didn't expect to be starting the school year still virtual distance learning. And if you have young children like we do, that's more difficult, right?
Yeah, super difficult.
Yes, but
and
older child, they can sit at a computer and do their work and not be supervised. But a 5-year-old,
oh no,
I don't know about that.
Yeah, and then I read an article where they were saying that the students have to wear. Well, they can't wear PJs, which I get it, but at the same time, what's a little Care Bear shirt here and there? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What's a little PJ? So yeah, they won't allow the students wearing pajamas.
Yeah, I understand why they want this though.
Why?
I mean, it's just a professional decorum,
I mean.
But they kids.
I mean, at the same time, what if, you running a little behind?
But that's why we not fooling with that, though.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. I'm just talking about for the other people out there.
For the other people. Yeah, I mean, listen, what they going to do? Kick them off if you come in with pajamas? Really?
I guess.
That's messed up.
You're removed from the class. Bloop, bloop, bye-bye.
But I actually kind of want to do a video or something about, us starting our homeschooling experience.
I don't know about that.
You don't think so?
I guess for us, we ain't finna be doing all this editing for everybody to see.
Well, I just, want to give some other options out there to people. I did a lot of research, and I guess I'm excited, you guys, because apparently I love curriculum and all this other stuff. And so I'm excited. I'm setting up a kindergarten station for Jordan. Jason is going to be doing majority of the teaching, I guess.
Shout out to Papa. Shout out to Papa Bear.
So we working out a schedule and we gonna make it do what it do.
All right.
First day of kindergarten, we're taking pictures
with a backpack.
Yes, I'm gonna put a backpack on her and everything.
Walking outside the house and then walking right back in.
We should do that. I do want to make it special, so we're definitely gonna take a picture. And I want to put decorations up and all this stuff, kindergarten decorations.
True that.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyways, totally. I hope you guys didn't zone out on us. Sorry. But yes, we are continuing the conversation. Oh, Jason, I'm sorry. I didn't ask you how you were doing, honey.
Yeah, you don't care.
I do care about you. I just talk, and then it's time for us to go. But I want to stop and ask you how you are doing.
Oh, no, I'm good, man. You know what I'm saying? Holding it down like the men always do. We hold it down.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Without, too many people asking how we're doing and checking on us.
Oh, come on.
You know what I'm saying? So shout out to all my men out there, man. Y'all hold it down. Appreciate y'all for holding it down for the family.
Whatever. Me not caring about you is not making sure you have any food in your tummy.
I'm just joking, y'all. I'm just joking. I'm just joking, my wifey. Thank you for asking, but yeah, I'm good.
Great. All right.
Let's get this show on the road.
Yes. So we are continuing our conversation. This will be part 2 in our series about the 10 most important emotional needs and the importance of meeting your partner's emotional needs. Okay. So basically, I'm calling it a series. It's probably going to end up being 4 parts. But it is based on this book called His Needs, Her Needs.
His Needs, Her Needs.
Building an Affair-Proof Marriage.
Okay.
I think
fair proof.
Yeah, remember I told you last time I actually
Not
did
like a fair proof, but
affair.
it's a fair. Like, man, we're gonna help. Hopefully, you don't have to
Prevent it.
look outside the house
Prevention.
for
Prevention. I said
It's a
prevention.
prevention. Hopefully, you don't have to look outside the house for your needs. And so, we're gonna break all that stuff down for you. It's gonna be cool. I hope y'all ready. Get your notepads out and take some copious notes and enjoy the ride. Put your seatbelts on. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Okay, so it's written by Willard F. Harley Jr., Ph.D. So
Doctor, right?
yes, doctor. Yes, if you that's what Ph.D. means.
No, I understand. But, some people may not understand.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So why don't you just say Dr. Willard?
Okay.
I'm just curious. Then you're not supposed to say
I don't know. That's just the way they write it sometimes.
Okay.
So Dr. Willard, if that's what you would like me to say, Jason.
That's for everybody. Everybody. We got different countries listening in, and
That's true.
different age groups.
Okay.
Maybe they don't know.
That's true. That's true.
So this is from a doctor.
Yes,
not from us.
Yes, counselor that's been doing at this for years and years.
For sure.
And helped lots of people marriages. So if you haven't heard part 1 yet, I think you
hit that stop button. Go back and check out part 1. Pretty
Right.
please, so you can get the full understanding of what this whole format is all about.
Right. Last time in that episode, we talked about the concept of every person having a love bank, and we talked about what the 10 most important emotional needs were, and how important it was for couples to identify them and their partners. So you'll find a lot of information also by heading over to the author's website, and it's called marriagebuilders.com. And that's where you can take this emotional needs questionnaire. This that we discussed in the past episode. Jason and I did take our questionnaire.
Yes, finally.
We will be sharing those results. Oh, and that questionnaire can also be found in the back of his book, His Needs, Her Needs. So first, we're just going to pick up right where we left off. Last episode, we talked about her most important emotional need, like the one that she would rank the highest. So again, I just want to put this disclaimer out there before we get started. Like the doctor said in his book several times that he wanted for people to understand like the concept with this his needs, her needs thing.
Yeah.
And so I just want to read exactly what he said. He said, while men on average pick a particular 5 emotional needs as their most important, and women on average pick another 5, an individual can and does pick any combination of the basic 10. Of course, everyone is unique, so it is very important that you take the questionnaire.
Correct.
Right? So you and your partner will know in particular what emotional needs rank the highest, but all 10 of these are the most important. But which ones do you rank the highest is the question.
Right.
So real quick, let's review the 10 most important needs.
Let's go.
Affection, sexual fulfillment, intimate conversation, recreational companionship, honesty and openness, physical attractiveness, financial support, domestic support, family commitment, and admiration.
There it is.
All right. So today we are talking about
Was it? I can't even get it out. Sexual fulfillment.
This is the first thing that he cannot do without.
Yeah, that's me. Shoot. And most guys out there.
Yes, again, understanding that he got this information based on some surveys, the questionnaires that he passed out to his couples, his clients, over hundreds of people, right?
Right.
But on average, the men rated sexual fulfillment as the number one.
Number one. Remember watching them videos countdown on BET?
Is that where you get that from? Because you always do that, or you do it a lot.
Yeah.
And so that's where you get that from.
I guess.
Okay. But who's surprised about this? Is anyone surprised?
I don't think anybody's surprised.
Raise your hands if you are. if I could see you, I probably nobody's raising their hand. Like everybody's probably like, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
So why, if this sounds right, then why is this such a problem?
I think because women don't really understand why it is number one. They know it's number one, but they don't really fully understand why it is number one. And then I think the fellas, we don't do a good job at explaining why it's number one. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I think that's what it is, the deeper understanding of why is it number one.
Yes.
And I think that once you get that understanding, it'll help. And if you're the type of person that maybe, I don't know, some people want to do it every single day. Mm-hmm. And that's why you got to ask those questions. Some people say, well, I'm not finna ask all those questions while you're dating. That's stupid. No, those are the times that you should ask those questions. Hey, what is your sex drive like? Mm-hmm. Just what it is. Mm-hmm. If they say, well, I'm the type of girl to do it once a month. Mm-hmm. that might be something that you might want to, go back to. You know what I'm saying? They ain't a deal breaker unless you just really, if you're an everyday kind of guy, maybe it is a deal breaker.
Right.
Or maybe you guys can compromise and say, well, once a week, meet in the middle somewhere. Mm-hmm. So, I think that's what it's about.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that, it all comes down to communication and lack of understanding. And Dr. Harley said this several times in his book, like he don't feel like that people are purposely keeping and not fulfilling their partner's needs. It's not like a purposeful, vindictive thing. It's just like ignorance of not knowing what your partner's needs are and why, and just like having that deep understanding, like you said. So if we get that deep understanding, then we can meet each other's needs more effectively. Right. So I just want to take a moment though and say, like, just in case there's some kids listening,
get your kids back,
because we are about to do a deep dive into this. This is actually the only emotional need we're going to talk about today, because I just think it's just such an important topic, and it just seems like the stakes are really high when you don't understand this.
Right.
Like it's like the easiest, probably the most common way.
Right.
Not understanding this can create like affairs.
Yes.
With marriages, right? And I also wanted to mention later on, when Jason and I were doing a survey, we kind of realized that this is one of those ones, out of all of the needs that need to be met, this one is the one that is very exclusive, right?
Yes.
Like you're not supposed to be doing this with anybody else when you get married, right?
Right.
Unless you have that sort of arrangement.
Unless that's your relationship, and that's however you want to do it. That's cool.
But in my opinion, that's not marriage. It's something else. We need to find another word for that, Okay. but that's, it is what it is. They just need to find another word, because to me, marriage is between you and the partner, right? And just exclusive. That's what it means, being sexually exclusive.
Okay.
Right? To me, that's my personal opinion. But, so like some of these other ones, you can financial support, like, nah,
Can't have old sugar daddy on the side.
No.
All they want is some conversation.
But yeah, this one is like, you really can't, if you're married, you really can't, or you're really not supposed to go get it from somebody else. Like intimate conversation, I can have an intimate conversation with my sister, Mm-hmm. So of course I want to have that with you, and I should be having intimate conversations with you the most, but I can still kind of feed that, in other ways. Whereas in this, no, you're the only person who can give this to me, or I'm going to be doing something immoral or, not ethical by cheating, right? On my husband. So we just want to point that out. So yes, if there is some kids around, let's just
go to a different episode.
Yes, and come back to us though and listen to it, okay?
Yeah.
So, and then I also want to definitely speak specifically to married people. My personal opinion is I don't owe you anything. I don't owe you any sexual fulfillment.
What are you talking about?
Like in regards to this being something that we kind of like owe each other, right? It's married people. And if you're a person that doesn't believe in marriage or, whatever, and you're in a long-term relationship, then I guess, okay, like a long-term committed relationship.
Right.
But I'm just saying, like, when people are dating, they like to try, some guys, say, oh, I need you to care for me and meet my needs. What? Are we married?
I see what you're saying.
Right. Like, we not at that level of commitment,
right,
like for you to be kind of demanding it, right,
right,
from me. Right. So, that's just I'm just saying. That's
just your preference, your 2 cents.
Yes. Nobody's demanding that, right? Unless we're married. So, you can demand, but I would be like.
But it's so funny, a lot of the ladies, what I'm saying, they don't want to do the domestic housework. They don't want to do the, the other extra stuff. Mm-hmm. But you'll give away the most sacred thing of your body, and you'll get that away.
Well, I mean,
So what's wrong with washing some dishes every night? Fix me a sandwich or two.
Oh my God. Jason, please don't talk like that. He's just joking.
I'm sorry. Don't take it. Don't take it personal.
I think that women see it as they enjoy this as well. It's not so much that, they're giving it to them, but he giving it to them, he giving it to her.
Yeah.
Right?
I guess. Let's get the party started.
All right. So I want to read something directly from the book because I thought it was very interesting. This portion of the chapter was called Why Men Feel Cheated. When a man chooses a wife, he promises to remain faithful to her for life. This means that he believes his wife will be his only sexual partner until death do us part. He makes this commitment because he trusts her to be as sexually interested in him as he is in her. He trusts her to be available to him whenever he has a need for sex, just as she trusts him to meet her emotional needs. Unfortunately, in marriages, the man finds that putting his trust in this woman has turned into one of the biggest mistakes of his life. He has agreed to limit his sexual experience to a wife who is unwilling to meet his vital needs. Some husbands tough it out, but many cannot. They find sex elsewhere. So this is talking specifically about a woman who is just like totally denying her husband sexual fulfillment.
So how do you get into that situation where, because you guys was dating, obviously he felt like the sex was good enough, the sex was happening. Yes. on a more frequent basis. It was enough. It was sufficient. Now, how all of a sudden you get married, it goes down?
There's a lot of reasons, and we're going to talk about that. Okay. Prevention begins with an understanding of the differences between the sexuality of men and women. So, like, to prevent yourself from getting to that place, we need to understand, like you said. So, we're going to go through some of the differences between men and women. Right?
Come on.
The first being is sex drive. And I think this is the thing that we need to understand why, right? So we understand that you men have a higher sex drive on average, right?
I guess.
What you mean you guess?
I mean, I met a lot of women that has high sex drives.
Right. So again, like the doctor said, like I gave the disclaimer in the beginning, in general.
Yeah.
Would you bet that men in general?
I'm not a betting man.
Yes, you are. That men in general have higher sex drives than women. Would you say that?
I would say that, yes.
Okay, that's all we're saying. It doesn't mean that there's women out here that don't have high sex drives.
Okay.
That's not what it means.
Yeah.
Okay. So, biologically speaking, the good doctor was saying that men just simply have more testosterone than women.
Yes.
And if a woman would like to really know how it feels to have a lot of testosterone, you can actually go wear a testosterone patch for a week.
Really?
And it will raise the testosterone level to that of a 19-year-old male.
No, that ain't. Don't do that. Y'all ladies, don't do that.
You don't think we're going to like it?
No.
I mean, I'd be scared to know what all this testosterone pumping in me.
I don't think that's right. I don't think.
Well, that's what he said. That. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know if
I ain't with all the changes on your bodies and stuff. Just be natural, man.
So basically, like, just biologically, you typically have a higher sex drive simply because you have more testosterone.
Okay.
Yes?
Yes.
You would agree with that?
Yes.
Okay, now what else? Now the doctor didn't tell me something. Then,
But
right,
you had it. But you had it when we was dating. So what happened? That's all. That's what I'm saying. We gotta get to that point.
we're gonna get to that.
Okay, I'm just saying. You had it too. You had some testosterone then.
Not necessarily.
What you have? You just trying to get me?
No, maybe it's and he's not talking about me, you guys,
Right.
by the way. So sometimes maybe it switches from the expectation because we are married. So you expect it because you like before you're married, you kind of halfway kind of like you expect it, and some men expect it like, okay, you know, they don't care nothing about marriage or whatever. Like, no, you gonna give it to me now. Like, I want it. You my girl, so you gonna give it to me.
Right.
But some men maybe, you know, feel like, oh no, if we're married, I expect you to be giving it to me every day, multiple times a day, because you're my wife and that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So it could be that.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe she was, you know, doing it before, but then afterwards the expectations went up for her.
Yeah.
Right?
'Cause now you wifey. You elevated to wifey status.
Yeah. So he says that while a man's sex drive is not the only reason he has a need for sexual fulfillment, it is the most important reason that is usually his number one emotional need.
Mm-hmm.
So I want you to tell everybody what you and I've heard other men say about just like we going into it.
Come on with it.
About like y'all theory of that it just needs to come out.
To my theory. Ain't no theory. It's scientific fact.
What study do you have?
Baby, we can look up all types of studies. Don't worry about all that.
Well, explain to everyone what we're talking about.
So this is scientific fact. And if we got any scientists listening, you know, correct me if I'm wrong. But in my mind, it's a scientific fact. You know, just like women have eggs, right? You born with eggs, correct? Mm-hmm. You don't generate new eggs.
Right.
You born with the eggs that you already have.
Mm-hmm.
And those eggs for reproduction has to come out, right? It comes out every single month, right? All right. So, because those eggs are living things and, you know, whatever. So, but we produce sperm.
Yes.
Right? We produce sperm. And we produce it all the time. Some situations make us produce more. Some make us produce less. Right? But where do you think that sperm goes? I understand we have testicles,
yes,
right?
But it doesn't have an infinite.
And that's a storage. But eventually, just like that iPhone or that Android that you have, you take too many pictures, eventually you're going to have to delete some stuff.
Yeah, I got to delete pictures right now.
You see what I'm saying? So if that sperm doesn't come out, it's gonna come out. It's just what it is. That's just how God made our bodies. The sperm is gonna come out. Now, when you was younger and you puberty hit, you know, you wasn't having sex, you was still a virgin. Guess how that sperm came out? It came out in a dream. It's called a wet dream.
So y'all actually like spitting out stuff, squirting out stuff.
Yeah, it comes out. That's just what it is. That's what happens, right? So it's going to come out one way or another. Now, if I'm married to my wonderful, beautiful wife, do you think I want my sperm coming out in a dream? Do you think I want my sperm coming out in the shower? Do you think I want my sperm coming out on anybody else that I don't love? I prefer, and I think my body prefers it as well. I prefer to have it come out with you, the person I love. Right?
Yes.
Right. So it got to come out, guys. That's just our body is how it's.
Well,
made
I think
up.
you saying that all of y'all know this, so you're speaking to the women, basically.
Not every man knows that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Men don't know that. Not all of them. So, you know, they just, you know, just kind of going around life, you know?
Yes.
It just happens like that. So, no, yeah, it has to come out. So, but we prefer it to come out with you guys.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, when at first I was kind of like, this is the only logic that you're giving me. But when you compared it to, you know, our eggs versus your sperm, actually doing ovulation, that's when we become most.
Come at us. Yeah.
And
Y'all
maybe
wanna
that
have these
is
babies.
like this process of the egg, dropping and it's for fertilization.
Yeah.
So
And
I
then
don't know.
and then when y'all come on y'all cycle, some women have very irritable, very frustrated, and we have to kind of deal with that heightened sense of, whatever. You know what I'm saying? We got to deal with that, right? So that's our stuff. That's what we got to go through. So that's how God made us, to procreate.
Yes. Well, if this is, I guess I accept it, right? Like, I know a lot of women don't
It's
want
like Visa. It's accepted everywhere.
What? Anyways, a lot of women they hate this argument, right? Like, oh, it's got to come out. It just has to come. Well, you know how to get it out, right?
But I don't want to get it out. Why I got you then? If I got to get it out that way. You know what I'm saying? If that's number one, what's up? Why do now it's different. Some situations are different, right?
Right. Different times in your life,
right?
Where you may need to do that,
and it's different.
And we're talking about masturbation.
Yeah, but I'm talking about also your wife may, who knows, maybe,
okay,
who knows what may be happening. You know what I'm saying? Maybe in pain down there.
Right.
Obviously that's different.
Right.
You know what I mean? But we prefer if everything is, all is well, right? If it's working properly, then what's the problem?
So there could be a number of problems. So we're going to go into that.
Come on.
Because it kind of like falls back on you guys, really.
All right.
I said, of course it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because a lot of times men just want this and you think you're owed it and you don't take into consideration or account that like there's some things that a woman needs and deserves in order to provide this for you.
Correct.
Right? Like,
right.
Which is, so we'll get into it.
Some guys will argue that you really don't have to do much.
What?
Just all you got to do is roll over. And sometimes you ain't got to do that.
So is that what you prefer? Like, I mean, like,
I don't prefer that. I'm just arguing for some men. They would say you ain't got to do much. Just roll over.
Is that really fulfilling though to the men that you've spoken to? I'm sure that you've had men talk with this sort of.
It's not the maximum fulfillment,
but it's better than nothing.
It's way better than something else. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with somebody else, dealing with just you by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Nobody want to do that. Or dealing with a wet dream. Now you got to change the sheets and all that. Man, nobody trying to do all that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I would. No, that's not the number one way. But hey, I'd rather get it that way than other than the other ways I just talked about.
Okay. All right. So we are going to talk about later on what are some of the reasons why this could be a problem. But I do think it's important that like I said, I as a woman have just accepted that I do believe it's just down to biology and testosterone and it needed to come out. Like, I feel that way. Yeah. But I know some people don't.
Welcome to the winning team.
Welcome to the winning team. So anyway, but we will come back to like your question of, well, what's the problem, right?
If everything is working just fine.
Okay, so we're going to talk about it because this is important,
it out there.
Right?
There's a lot of people that got selective hearing out there.
So we're trying to get to the bottom of this difference between men and women, right? So
and we trying to get to your bottom too.
Oh gosh, stop it. So our sex drive is different. Right?
Of course it is.
Because of the lower testosterone, but we're going to get into that. But the second difference is sexual awareness. And the author was saying that some of this could be contributed to this problem of like women not being as sexually aware as men are. And I actually had an interesting conversation one time that I was in the Navy because I told this guy, I was like, a lot of times when dudes are younger, they want the woman who is sexually experienced, like, because you want to have sex. So you go get with a girl who's having sex with a lot of men and don't mind having sex with you pretty fast. Right. And then you get married to a woman who's not as sexually experienced because you prefer her, right? Oh, you want to marry this girl that's not that. I'm not saying that all men feel this way.
All men don't feel that way.
But when I was coming of age, like, I feel like that's the way that it was, right? And I told him, I said, some of you guys are watching porn, first of all. Some of you watching porn. Some of you are sleeping with a lot of women. And then when you marry a woman that does not, or get a long-term girlfriend that does not have the sexual experience that these other girls had, now you impatient with her.
So you saying some guys are addicted to porn and addicted to sex, and then once they get married, they expect their wife to be addicted with them.
They expect her to be doing all sorts of tricks that she hasn't learned yet.
Do something strange for a piece of change.
Yes, she hasn't learned these things yet. She might not even be comfortable, right? She's still not comfortable with her sexuality, especially knowing how society is as far as, it's okay for men to have so many partners, but if a girl has a lot of partners, it's a problem. Or a woman has a lot of partners, it's a problem. So
a great philosopher from Friday After Next, Day. He said,
"What?"
He said, "I'm trying to get my from the back. I'm trying to see what that be like."
That's not funny. Did y'all laugh at that in the movie? Because I don't think that's funny.
That was hilarious.
I don't even know what's happening right now, actually. So yes, this could be a problem for some people.
Yes.
And, the guy, I think he actually thought about him. It's like, you know what? You might have a point there. Like, you want a girl swinging from the chandeliers and stuff. And she's like been, a goody two shoes her whole life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think that that definitely plays a big part in it sometimes. And he was also just talking about, like, they did studies on when boys masturbate, like when is the first time that they encounter that. Mm-hmm. And typically, in general, they do that much earlier than girls, right?
I guess.
Like at earlier
y'all
ages.
the ones that go into puberty earlier than we do.
We do, but that doesn't mean we're masturbating, though.
I guess.
So
I don't know. Should I mean,
well, and then he said sometimes a lot of women have, like, their first sexual experience is kind of like they just really like their boyfriend and they're curious. What is the big deal about sex? Like, it's not like this urgent need for sex. It's either emotional or curiosity, Mm-hmm. It's like, or I just wanted to stop being a virgin. Like, I've seen that on a movie. I don't know if people actually do that, mm-hmm. but just like do it to get it over with. Like, because now being a virgin is a bad thing, right?
All right, that's what it is.
I don't believe that, but that's kind of how the media portrays it. Like, virgins get made fun of. If you're like 16 years old or something and you're a virgin, you get made fun of.
Yeah,
whatever. You're prude.
Be yourself. Be you. Stand out.
I don't have a problem with that. Like,
travel the road less traveled.
Yeah. So sometimes girls may be under pressure that way. Like, I just, but the point is that it's not typically for this, I need to have sex. But for boys, it is that way. Right.
Yeah.
It's like, I just want something so bad. Like, and he just saying that's kind of like the general experiences of girls and boys, So he was basically saying, if there's a young woman and a man who come together and they're on opposite ends of that spectrum, and he's more sexually experienced and she's not, he may not be patient. He don't want to prepare her, and he just don't understand why she don't love it just as much as he does. First of all, losing your virginity is painful for women. It doesn't hurt you guys. It actually hurts us. Like, that's our first experience with sex. It hurts.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, like I heard one girl say that, like, it hurt her so bad she didn't never want to do it again.
Did she do it again?
No, actually.
Really?
She became a lesbian.
Wow.
And maybe she was with a horrible man or something. Like, maybe it was like like she didn't tell the whole experience, right?
Being too rough.
Maybe something like that happened. So yeah, this experience, that it's in itself, you didn't experience any pain losing your virginity, right?
No, not that. Look, not that I know of. No, because for me it was I saw the sun, the moon, the mountains, and the rivers.
But here's what everybody needs to know, okay? I agree with the good doctor. I'm calling him the good doctor. A man cannot achieve sexual fulfillment in his marriage unless his wife is sexually fulfilled as well. You gotta get it right, because she's gonna be more willing to do it. Yeah. Right? So if it's just all about you, it's not gonna work. While I have maintained that men need sex more than women, this is the doctor talking, the author. Unless a woman joins her husband in the sexual experience, his need for sex remains unmet. Therefore, a woman does her husband no favors by sacrificing her body to his sexual advances. He can feel sexually satisfied only when she joins him in the experience of lovemaking. So like you said,
oh wow,
you would prefer for me to be engaged, right?
For sure.
In this activity.
Yes.
It's much better that way.
Yes, it is.
So, it just boils down to understanding that, I need to be fulfilled too. Mm-hmm. Okay, so sexual motivation is the third difference, right? We're moving into the third difference between men and women. Mm-hmm. Women feel that sex helps you feel feel closer to you as our husbands, mm-hmm. and that it's an emotional bonding experience. Yes, right. How do you feel about that?
Same thing.
Do you feel that way?
Yep.
But I think it's stronger for us than it is for you all, because basically he was saying if she doesn't feel emotionally close to him, she won't want to make love to him.
Okay.
He has probably failed to communicate his care for her, or lack of affection, like what we talked about in the last episode. Right. Or he's proven that he doesn't care by ignoring her completely until he feels like having sex. Again, right. Like what we talked about last time, affection is so important because no woman wants to feel like you just want me for sex. Right. We want to feel like you love me for me.
I'm not a piece of meat.
We want to feel cared about. We want to feel loved.
Okay, we got you.
All right. So his advice on how to achieve sexual compatibility. So we got these problems. So how do we fix it?
Communication.
Yeah, pretty much. And some more stuff. Willingness. So he says that the sexual experience is divided into 5 stages: willingness, arousal, plateau, climax, and recovery. Okay. Mm-hmm. Willingness is how it starts. The woman has to be willing to have sex. Yes. Otherwise, you're going to be doing something really bad.
Correct.
Right. Correct. I have
married or not.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Because some people back in the day thought that it wasn't possible to rape your wife.
Back in the day, I think some people probably still think that.
Well, they need to get that out of their mind.
Yeah. Quick,
fast, and in a hurry, because you can totally rape your wife.
Yeah.
If she says she don't want to, she doesn't want to, right. And you need to back up.
Back up, homie. Man, you sound like you got the gun to somebody back.
Oh yeah, because this is serious.
Yeah.
This is serious. If anybody feeling that way, they tripping.
Right.
So
get them straight.
Okay. I'm doing a lot of reading, but it's good information, okay? I have already said that most men are motivated to have sex because of a sexual craving created by their relatively high levels of testosterone. Women, on the other hand, are generally motivated by emotional closeness. Granted, women also experience a craving for sex, but it usually occurs only once or twice a month. Now that Jason said something about somebody, a woman only needing it once or twice a month, while many men experience it almost daily. Is that accurate?
Yes.
So men are generally willing to have sex whenever their wife offers it because of ongoing sexual desire, but women are willing to have sex when their husband offers it only if they feel emotionally close to him. So I'm totally like this. And this is why I don't understand how people can be saying they're about to get a divorce, but they wind up pregnant. Because I'm like, if I am mad at you, I actually really can't do it.
Well, sometimes, the sex overpowers logic.
I don't want you to touch me.
But, sometimes you can't resist it.
Nah, I can. if I don't feel emotionally close to you, I don't want to. So good thing you keep me very emotionally close to you. Right. Like we're very emotionally close.
No, I'm like that too, though.
Yeah.
Obviously. Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah. Shoot.
What would I have to do?
Get quiet on you in a minute.
What would I have to do to make you not want to do it with me?
I don't know. Look, if I say piss me off, that's all you got to do. Try it out.
I want to know like what exactly? What kind?
There's a lot of things you can do to piss me off. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like talk crazy if you want, something like that.
Be disrespectful.
Yeah, definitely disrespectful.
Bad, mean, and down to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And lying and all that,
Yeah. So maybe we're not that different.
Yeah.
But
go against my emotional needs that you just learned about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, if your number one is sex, then what's the problem?
Well, number two is affectionate.
Okay.
And domestic support. So
here's the kicker. Here's the key. Okay. There's another reason why a woman is willing to make love. She anticipates a mutual, enjoyable sexual experience with her husband.
That's what she anticipates.
And I think that it's safe to say that you can anticipate that if your husband is a person that has learned you and wants to please you, and this is what you guys do. Right. You try to please each other.
But here's the issue though, real quick. Here's the issue. So if you're only doing it once or twice a month, you may have some guys out here that, if it's your first time doing it, it's been a drought.
Yeah.
The experience is going to be a little, short,
a little quick.
Possibly. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's backed up.
Uh-huh.
You see what I'm saying? So did you watch the movie Something About Mary?
Yes.
That's something that seemed like a movie you'll watch, right?
Yes, I did. I've watched it a million times.
You hear how he had to clear the cannons or something, coffers? I don't know what he said.
He called it choke the chicken. He called it a lot of things, and I was like, what?
So why did he do that?
To clear his head so he wouldn't be nervous.
Also to clear the storage sacks that we got down there. Uh-huh. So, it ain't gonna be ready to come out as soon as it touch something warm. You know what I'm saying? So
he actually talks about this.
Okay.
In the book. So that's very interesting. Jason, he's a smart cookie. Yeah. He's a smart.
So basically if you waiting 20 days in between, that first time may not be the best time.
So we want to continue to stay on the road of figuring out how to get your wife in the mood.
Okay, let's get your wife in the mood. Keep me on track.
But no, this is all valid points that we're definitely getting to. But you kind of blaming the woman. So
that's part of it. I'm just trying to look for an opportunity for her to help out the situation.
Okay. So here, the author says, in most cases, an environment of affection and anticipation of a mutually enjoyable sexual experience will result in her willingness to make love to him whenever he has a sexual desire. Just make the woman happy.
Yeah.
And she's going to be ready.
Maybe. It's so complicated. And I'm just speaking, I'm not necessarily blaming the woman. So shout out to all my ladies out there. Not blaming you guys. I'm a champion for the women. If you ask some of my coworkers, Valentine's Day, I bring my office flowers. He does. I that's what I do. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a champion for the women. I'm old school, all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm just speaking up for my fellas out there because we don't have a lot of representation. So I'm out here for my fellas. Shout out to the fellas. You.
That's why you're here, Jason, for sure. We don't want to silence the men voices. I
got y'all, dog. I got you.
So the second phase of stage of sexual experience is arousal, right? So this is all playing in together. We're going to get to what Jason was talking about. But we get aroused differently. Women are a little bit more complicated, right?
Yeah, you got to schedule a section.
No.
Thursday night at
we're
10:30.
You guys,
if you're late, you're going to miss it.
You guys are super easily aroused, right?
Maybe.
Yes. Jason, if I walked around the room naked, you're aroused.
Oh yeah, come on. Can't be naked.
But women, we not that visual. You need to touch us and do other stuff. So this was really funny as I was reading this because he got really very specific in the details about how to get a woman aroused. And we're not gonna go into all of that. I'm gonna let you guys read the book.
Gotta read the book,
but
ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, he was talking about I don't know, just a lot of stuff, right? So you definitely want to take your time, and it definitely, arousal still starts with affection, right? And the fact that she feels loved and cared for, right? And then also you need to find out what's arousing to your woman, and do that, right? Plateau. This is what Jason is talking about. Okay, so plateau is the best stage of the lovemaking, and that's right before. I don't know why he called it the best stage, because I would think that people say the climax is actually the best stage, right?
Yeah.
But he's saying the plateau is the best stage.
Plateau.
It's like right before you climax.
Oh, yeah, that too. Yeah, that's good too.
So basically, what's going back?
Because once you climax, it's over.
Yes.
Yeah, unless you climax several times.
Right.
Then it's all aboard again.
So he said, unfortunately, her need for more stimulation and his need for less creates a common sexual problem: premature ejaculation. Which means that he comes to a climax too soon, as she thrusts quickly to stimulate herself to the plateau. This is how he talking. Jason get turned off.
My eyes just got a little big, a little bit. That's all.
I told you I'm so easily aroused. Like, I said, as she thrusts quickly, you just got all sorts of visual images in your head.
Reading them books, y'all. Reading.
Okay, as she thrusts quickly to stimulate herself to the plateau, the stimulation becomes too great for him. He experiences a climax and loses his erection before she can reach a plateau or climax.
So like, make me lose control.
Like, by the time, like, when women start getting into it, y'all about finished. Like, as soon as we start, moving too much and all this other stuff.
A little extra gyration.
So he doesn't speak specifically about like the drought situation of like, okay, but this is basically saying like the early ejaculation, right?
Correct.
So I mean, I would say that in the question that you asked, just do it more often. So that's not the case.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I mean, let me see what he says about like, I think he was kind of saying that maybe like if you're a man of a certain age, that maybe a pill, you may need that, in order to keep that.
You don't need no pills. You don't need no Viagra. No, you don't need none of that. I'm gonna tell you what it is. It's what you eat. It's the foods you eat. You know what I'm saying? You got to eat more healthy. You gotta eat more healthy, and you gotta drink more healthy. You gotta exercise. That will help that out. Yeah, there it is.
Awesome. Well, thanks for the
all
tip.
Natural, baby.
Now, he says that, I mean, like I said, he got very specific. I'm skipping over a lot of stuff because he was talking about when the vagina is tight and the penis is hard. That's all sorts of stuff. He said when having... This supposed
to be rated
well, this
G.
is going to be explicit episode. Because we're going to have to. Like, I mean, we just got to talk about it. This is important. Okay? Yeah. He claims that when having intercourse, the husband must hold the plateau about 10 minutes. The time his wife needs to reach the plateau. She may need another 5 minutes to experience a climax. So he got it down to the minutes. Yeah. I mean, I want to, y'all let us know. Write us and let us know. Loveology podcast at gmail.com. Write us and let us know. Do you think that you could get to a climax in 15 minutes? Let us know. Because that's basically like the ladies, really. Because he said basically the man need to be hard for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And she may need another 5 minutes to experience climax.
Right.
That's what he said.
Okay.
So I want to know.
And I will say this: alcoholic beverages will extend the life of the hardness. Little tricks of the trade.
So basically, I kind of went ahead. I meant to say that we're talking about this because it just needs to be understood, men, that women need very special and intense stimulation to reach a plateau. Okay. Men need much less stimulation. Intercourse itself is almost always sufficient for men, and many reach a plateau with even less stimulation. So it's just easier for you guys, right?
Yeah.
So this is just going back to a woman expecting to be sexually fulfilled, expecting to enjoy it. And if you being selfish,
for us because we, like I said, we reproduce it. Y'all don't produce eggs, we produce sperm. So yes, it should be easy because we got more coming.
Right. So whatever.
No pun intended.
So basically, like I said, the point that I'm just trying to make is that, like, I guess some men don't understand this, or some men are just very selfish and they're only there to get theirs and they're not there to get theirs.
You better get yours because I'm going to get mine. That's the late, great Bernie Mac.
No, there needs to be care involved.
Mm-hmm.
She needs to enjoy this too. And the more she enjoys it, the more she will want to do it. That seems pretty, you know.
But it's a crazy cycle because the more you do it, the more he's not excited to just get it. You know what I'm saying? The excitement is what throws it off sometimes. You know what I'm saying? They get so excited visualizing, you know, and so they mentally doing it in their head. You know how they teach you, like, Olympic race gold medalists, they visualize them winning a race and running a race and all that good stuff. And that's like the equivalent of actually doing it. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing for us when it comes to sex. So if we visualizing you on top of me and, you know, we getting at it, you know, and sometimes cats can be doing it all day long. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're wearing something nice or something that's revealing. So yeah, you know, you're gonna think about that. And so when it's time to actually get it on,
you're so excited.
You got me. Better luck next time.
Okay, well, let's see what is his advice. Let me see what his advice is besides peels on, like, how you can. I do agree that if you do it more, maybe then that would
How you gonna say I agree? Maybe
because I'm not a man, so I don't know for sure. Yeah, so I believe that some of the tips that Jason gave are great tips on how to do that. Only you talk to your fellas, talk to you if you're having a problem, you know. Would that be a conversation that you would be comfortable talking to other men about? It's like, dude, every time I just come fast.
Man, I'm all about helping. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
At the end of the day, I'm all about adding value to one's life at the end of the day, right? So if that's going to help other areas as well, of course, yeah, I'll be glad to give you some tips and tricks. You know, if you want an hour consultation, that's a good segue into being a Patreon. You know, you could be a Patreon. Go to loveologypodcast.com. There's a button up under that media player that says become a Patreon. And it's 3 tiers. That top tier, especially if you have a business, is great. But that top tier is you get an hour consultation every single month. You get a free t-shirt and you get a shout out. So I'll shout out your actual business on this podcast. And I might even throw in a nice promotional video included in that. So
sounds like a great deal.
Yeah, man. So check out loveologypodcast.com. Become a Patreon. The lowest tier is just $2. And you're helping us financially help other people. So we appreciate y'all.
We do. Definitely.
So for the fellas out there, if you need an hour consultation to talk about that, I got you.
All right. Now, the climax. Is it ecstasy or anxiety? So this is another stage, right? These are all. So the purpose of this again is just talking about all the ways that people can kind of mess up with the sexual, you know, compatibility part, right? And these are some of the mistakes that people make. So some people apparently he said there's an idea that some people feel like they got a climax at the same time.
You don't have to. No, it is amazing when it happens.
Yes,
but no, you don't have to.
Yeah, sometimes it's okay. Like, I mean, it's fine. You don't, you know, it's still. We don't have to do it at the same time. It is better. Yeah. I mean, but it's okay.
Yeah, it's totally fine.
Yeah. So
especially if you're not wearing condoms. You know. Yeah.
Well, if you're married, that's fine.
Well, I'm just saying, pregnancy alert.
Oh yeah.
Depending on the time that you do it.
Right. Oh, the other thing is sometimes men feel a lot of pressure for a woman to climax, and sometimes she is just happy doing it without that because she probably actually don't feel like doing it, but she's just doing it for you. Right?
I mean, but if you're doing it, why not go ahead and get yours?
Because I don't feel like it. It's like, I don't feel like it. It's okay. Just go ahead. It's okay.
Yeah.
So that was another thing. He said, some women, are okay with that sometimes. This is not like all the time, right? It's just sometimes, maybe once every 100 times or something. And they just wish that their husband wouldn't put so much pressure on them to climax.
Yeah.
Just let it go. Like, let's just do it, and it's all good. I'm telling you, it's good. So just calm down.
But we run into the situations where you say one thing, but you really mean another.
But you just said earlier in this episode that we really don't even have to do nothing. We can just, roll over or whatever.
Yeah.
So in those situations, those situations, then you're not really expecting a woman to climax.
Well, that's different. Yeah, no situations. No.
Well, that's probably one of these situations that I'm talking about.
No, you wouldn't even think like that until like if both of you guys are engaged, then yeah, you're gonna want her to get it. But it's already understood that if she's not engaged, then she ain't studying it.
Okay.
Unless she becomes engaged while you giving it to her.
Okay, so that's all to be said about that. Recovery, afterglow, or resentment. So this is the time, and he goes into like all this biological reason why women want to cuddle, basically, and men want to roll over and go to sleep, right? So, and
we done did most of the work.
That's not true. That's not true at all. Y'all ain't doing no work, really.
Crazy.
The women doing all the work.
How you get picked up against the wall then?
Okay. So sometimes, that can be insulting, especially like if you're new to the marriage or new to the sexual experience and you like roll over and go to sleep. And sometimes women, we just want to talk and cuddle. Now, actually myself, I don't.
Nah, you good.
I would say that like our first experiences, if that was what you did, then maybe I would have been upset. Right. But now I'm just like, okay, good night.
Right.
Love you. Good night.
Right. Exactly.
I don't need no cuddling, no talking, nothing. Just go to sleep. So that was funny to me as I read this, but I totally understand that, like the cuddling thing, but it's just not something that, But anyways, but he, like I said, he has all these biological reasons why, but if your woman is like this, fellas, make an effort to hug her, have some pillow talk, just make her happy. Like she's going to make you happy if you make her happy. Right. We're just making each other happy.
Correct.
So if she just needs a little cuddling, a little, pillow talk, like I said, a little cuddling and pillow talk, do that.
Yeah, just suck it up.
Just do it. She just, she just pleased you, Okay, so to wrap it up, I hope this has been very informative. What do you think, Jason?
Yes, I believe it is. I think we're tapping into some information that a lot of people don't really talk about. You know what I'm saying? And we're here for relationships. There's a lot of relationships that can be saved, and a lot of relationships can go to a whole nother level. And it starts with communication, and that helps it all. Like, if you're in a rough situation with your significant other, talk about it. That's like, that's going to most likely solve the problem one way or the other. You have to talk about it and talk through it. You know what I'm saying? Not just talk about it and then get mad and then y'all walk away. No, you got to talk through it. Like, right. That's what you got to do.
Absolutely. That's what it all comes down to. Okay. So we're moving into the solving the sexual problems, right?
Okay.
So like you said, talking, but you also need to get educated. And it's kind of like, this is what we're doing on this podcast, because like I said, a lot of times people feel like that everything that's pertaining to love and marriage, that everything is going to come naturally.
Right.
It's like, no, you need to educate yourself. You need to understand your partner. You need to understand certain things. And the author says, educate yourself through reading books, listen to our podcast.
Correct.
If your problems are really bad, maybe you can visit a sex therapist, right? To talk to about this, and communicate, with older men and women. I don't know if you should communicate with your knucklehead friends, right? Like, depending on, like,
why they gotta be knuckleheads? What if my knucklehead friend is a sex therapist?
He's not a knucklehead then. You know who your knucklehead friends are. Everybody has knuckleheads, especially y'all men. Y'all all have a couple of knucklehead friends. You know what I'm talking about, okay?
Nah, I don't know.
You don't know what I'm talking about? Okay, well, talk to an older man, right? Like somebody who can really give you a lot of wisdom, or somebody who seems like he's successfully married and having good sex, right? Like, like talk, get knowledge, right? And yeah, read this book that, you know, his needs, her needs. So I did want to talk very briefly also, which he does mention in this chapter, is about the reluctant husband. At first we've been talking about the women being the reluctant ones, but men can also be reluctant. So the reason why I called Jason a smart cookies, because he was saying that, you know, like one of the reasons, you know, it's the same. You have to break down, like if you have a reluctant husband, you got to break down those 3 reasons that we were talking about, the differences between men and women. So like, what was it? Sexual awareness, sexual motivation, and sexual willingness, right? So to the sexual motivation part, he was saying that, you know, if your wife is demanding, disrespectful, or angry, they don't want emotional bonding. Men don't, typically. Like if y'all hate to be disrespected, if I'm calling you, you know, no good man and all this other stuff, you're probably not going to want to have sex with me, right? So, and just,
if I do, it's gonna be different.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. It's not gonna be caring.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of like the makeup sex. You know what I'm saying? A little rough.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what some women, I guess, you know, want to. Maybe that's why they be talking all aggressive to their man.
I don't know. Maybe it's weird. Just communicate. Tell them, hey, baby, I like it rough.
Yeah. So also he was saying, we were talking about porn earlier. He was warning against porn, and because that may affect your sex drive. Masturbation may affect your sex drive, because if you're getting orgasms, then you might be less interested in sex. So, you know, you got to watch that stuff. And like I said, some men have these expectations.
I don't know, because, you know, that's different though. It's like a different.
What?
It's a different orgasm. It ain't the same.
What you mean?
It's not the same. A masturbating orgasm and a sexual orgasm through the vagina is different.
Okay. Well, I guess he means like if you're doing a lot for whatever reason. Maybe you and the wife haven't been getting along for a while or something. Yeah. And you're just having prolonged bouts of that, right? But he said especially pornography. So I agree. I just think that, you know, nobody should be watching pornography every day. All right. So to wrap it all up.
Hey.
Okay. Getting down to the nitty gritty. Meeting each other's needs. Here's the 2 things you need to remember. While probably more in touch with their own sexuality, because it is such a basic male drive, many men lack skill in lovemaking because they fail to understand a woman's need for affection as part of the sexual process. When a man learns to be affectionate, his lovemaking will become very different. The man interested only in satisfying his hunger for sex molests his wife more than anything else, because I should be laughing at that word, but it's just his word choice, because his technique is insensitive to her feelings. He uses his wife's body for his own pleasure while she gets more and more infuriated. Conversely, many women don't understand their own sexuality well enough to know how to enjoy meeting a husband's compelling need for sex. To satisfy her husband sexually, a wife must also feel satisfied. I try to encourage wives not only to make their bodies available to their husband on a more regular basis, but also to commit themselves to learning to enjoy the sex relationship as much as their husband does. If you're having sex, you better be getting something out of it, right?
Oh yeah. Sure.
I'm talking to the ladies, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, yeah, get yours, right?
Right.
So yeah, that's pretty much wrapping it all up, right? Like just please each other, make each other happy. Now, one thing that he didn't cover, and I know I was saying I was wrapping this up, but this is really important. One thing he didn't cover for reasons why women don't want to, when they're dating, they may be more sexually active, or you feel like they're more sexually active, and then when they become married, they're not. I talk about this all the time, especially when the kids come. Women are going nonstop, doing housework, taking care of the kids, and they are literally too tired. And men really don't get it. But I say, if you guys would take care of the house and take care of the kids like we do, then maybe you would understand. So later on, some of the other needs that we will be talking about is like domestic support. And I just think, to end on this note of, if your woman keeps saying that she's tired, maybe you need to figure out how to help her not being tired anymore. And that probably means that you need to help around the house, or find some maids or somebody to come in and relieve some of this pressure off your wife, so she can feel like having sex.
Right.
But, when they running around from morning to night, literally doing stuff, working, doing stuff for the family, doing stuff for the house, and you just like kick back watching TV while she does all of this stuff.
Right.
And then you want her to be just ready for action.
Right.
Maybe you need to help.
Maybe so.
so that's all I'm saying.
That's a nugget right there.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of guys, we do miss that, right? Because, I will see you cleaning up and washing the dishes and doing all that good stuff, and it's like, cooking, and it's like, man, you doing it with a smile on your face, and you just going through it and listen to your music or whatever, and it's like, oh man, she must love it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Jason tried to tell me that I like washing dishes. I said no.
Okay, apparently you do.
I do it because it needs to be done.
Right. So, I just put it in the dishwasher,
No, I don't even like doing that. I don't like cleaning just as much as, not just as much as you don't like, but.
But yeah, so basically once you understand it, they doing it because this what needs to be done, right? And it's not necessarily because they love it, right? I guess they learn to love it. I guess you can say that.
No, we don't learn to love it. We don't love it. Oh, he just can't understand. He keeps thinking that I love it. I'm
not gonna do something with a smile on my face that I don't like it. I guess I wear my emotions on my sleeve. I think that's what it is. You always smiling. So yeah. See what you can do to help around the house. See what you can do to. Those some of the some time takers is the cleaning up around the house and dealing with the kids. Those like the top two. Right.
Yeah. Right. So I think you're referring to the book that we read called Fair Player, that, and she basically, the author of that book, go check that out. It's called those episodes are called A Woman Work ? And, it's just talking about how couples can divide the household chores, evenly. Well, not evenly, but fairly. So, I think everybody should read that book. And I think that a lot of men would find that if their wife is carrying the burden of all of the household duties and childcare, and you take some of that away and give her space to breathe and be a woman and be your wife, then she will be more sexually active.
I heard that.
Yes.
Amen.
Yeah.
Well, look, that's what we got for today. We're going to go ahead and cut this off short. Well, I ain't cut it off short, but we're going to go on and put a pause for the calls and get y'all ready for next week. But so thank you guys for listening in. We're going to have a live discussion. We're going to talk a little bit more about this in great detail. So make sure you join us on Loveology Podcast on Facebook. So make sure you go to Facebook and like that page, Loveology Podcast, because we'll be going live from that page. And the live discussion will be on Wednesday. If you're coming from the East Coast, it'll be 9 p.m. on the Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, and 6 p.m. Pacific. So definitely tune in. Facebook Live. We're going to talk more about it. And on Facebook, that's where we give away free stuff. Give away free hats, free mugs. We got some other companies on there as well. That they give away stuff. So we do free giveaways, but you have to listen to this episode that you're listening to right now. So step 1, you already got that correct. Step 2, you got to be able to answer a question that I put out there. So, and then, once you get that, you'll spin the wheel and see what you get. So that's what it is. So, babe, you got anything else before we let them go?
Nope. That's it.
All right, y'all. We're going to catch y'all next time. Thank y'all for sitting in and listening to this for the last hour and 20-something minutes, 15, 20
Oh, wow.
No, it's like an hour and some change.
Okay, good.
But we're going to catch y'all next time. Thank y'all. Keep loving, spread the word, and share the love and all that good stuff. So, peace out.
Bye. You've been listening to the Loveology Podcast. Did you have fun with us today? Tell a friend about our show. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to keep the conversation going. Be sure to subscribe so you'll never miss an episode. Visit us at loveologypodcast.com. Thanks for listening. Until next time, Loveologists.